my name is Kathleen, and I am a senior film and media arts major at Temple University. Originally, I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the West Shore, which is just right outside, this is the suburbs outside of Harrisburg. I lived there all my life. It's a predominantly white area, but there are a lot of low-income people in that area as well, and a lot of middle-class people that live there. This is a funny question, like what sparked your feminism, or like what was there a turning point of it? Because I think that was our opening question, our first like meeting we held. Because it's super hard to like define that moment. But when I first like started identifying as a feminist, I'm pretty sure it was like because I was also in the marching band in high school, and there were a lot of conservatives and conservative students who had conservative parents, so they like were repeating ideas that they heard from their parents, and I think that was what sparked a lot of like my anger to their ideas, because I knew it wasn't right. So probably around like 16 or 17, I was definitely saying that I was a feminist, but it definitely started earlier, like those ideas of feminism, probably like middle school. I was like talking about it, but you know, when you finally realize some stuff, you know, the year of realizing, it was probably around 16. I am the president of the Temple Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance. It is a branch of the Feminist Majority Foundation, which is a national organization of feminist clubs at campuses around the nation. And I got involved with it my freshman year of college. And back then it was a really small organization on campus. There was about like probably 20 people who ever came to the meeting maximum, but who regularly attended was probably around 10 people. And it was a neat experience because it was the first time I found people who also aligned with my values. At college, explicitly feminist. That this was a group for feminism and to talk about feminism and to learn about feminism, which was really exciting for a young feminist, where I didn't really, a lot of the stuff I had learned prior to coming to college was like just through the internet, through like blogging websites, and through Twitter, is where I found a lot of like my feminist ideas kind of springing up. So it was cool to like get educated, because that's what I was here for. That everyone comes to university to get educated, and this was kind of a way to learn in like a forgiving environment, but also like a smarter one. I definitely in high school was very new to the idea of what feminism was, so there was a lot of like yelling, a lot of saying like kind of ignorant stuff that was like comes from a good place when you're 16. But I learned a lot more in the past 3 years than I did in the 2 years I was figuring out feminism. But I think that's everyone's journey. You know, you get that little spark of feminism, and then you that spark grows into flaming campfire of feminism. So the biggest thing since I've been on the executive board, which I've been on the executive board for 3 years now, but when I first started going to meetings, and something that we've carried over from like older kind of meeting setups, was the idea of current events and shut the fuck up moments. Because initially we kind of started, when I was in the group in my freshman year, we would start shut the fuck up moments of like microaggressions we see around campus, places where we could, like, I'll explain them shut the fuck up moments for a little bit, but we would have someone say a shut the fuck up moment, and then that kind of turned into the whole meeting, where we just kind of talked about something that made us angry that week, which is totally like the stereotype about us angry feminists, which wasn't very constructive, but it also, it opened the dialogue at least, which was neat. But there was also like 8 people maximum. There was not that many people in the organization. So then the next, my sophomore year, we got a lot more growth. So that'd be the 2014, 2015 school year. Yeah, 2014, 2015 school year. We had a lot more people come and join the club because we had a lot more visibility on campus, and we kind of structured our meetings better. So we would have like an introduction portion where we would say our names, majors, and pronouns, and then we'd have our current events portion, which was like feminism in the news, and important news regarding like important feminist issues. And then we'd have shut the fuck up moments, which are moments that you see on campus that are like microaggressions. They're places where you don't think you have a voice to say something, but it made you angry and you want to talk about it. But it's also a time for you to, like, for members to say things that they thought were going to be really bad, but it was like a really positive moment, and it was a progressive moment. So like seeing a drunk guy walk a drunk girl home, and that's like really cool because they're like respecting boundaries and respecting consent. And if that's something you haven't seen, you want to talk about it, and it was just like really cool to see like progress and like cool stuff. But it's also a time for you to like call yourself out. If you just wanted to tell yourself that you need to like shut the fuck up, like you said something that was like racist and like homophobic, but you didn't, like your intent wasn't that, but you still realized, wow, that was really dumb of me to say, and I'm sorry I said it, but I want to like point out this change that I need to make and I need to work on. So that's a really interesting time, because the shut the fuck up moment portion of our meetings is a time for like reflection. It's a time for like to bring awareness to things that other people might not be thinking about, and it's also just a time to like bond over like aggression that individuals face, that you might think you're alone, but actually everyone else is feeling this way, so you're not alone, which is really cool to see that happen. It's also sometimes sad to see it happen because like even recently there's been a lot of talk about like sexual harassment and sexual assault happening, which isn't good, but it's kind of nice for people to talk about it together, to like realize that like, hey, this made me really scared, this made me really sad, or this hurt me physically, and then finding other people who also have those same experiences, and like you can kind of heal from that. The rest of the meeting then is a presentation on a topic in feminism that our members want to talk about. So we like address at the beginning of the year, like what topics do you want to learn about, or what do you want to like see us talk about. So we'll have like that presentation happen, and it can be like a workshop kind of presentation, or it can be just like learning. So it's like discussion questions, but it's just basically trying to open a dialogue, have a conversation, or do a workshop that like is beneficial. So it's kind of like a social environment, but it's also like a really relaxed learning environment. So people can learn and grow in feminism in their own ways. So we have been holding the tampon drive since I joined the club in 2013, and that is just fun because tampons are expensive. Sanitary products for women are very expensive. Like the whole tampon tax issue, like tampons aren't a luxury item. Anyone who gets a period, they do not choose to have this period. There's no opting out. Getting birth control to regulate that is also very difficult, even though that's something we're trying as an organization, as feminists, to fight against. It's difficult. Getting policy in place is really hard to have everyone get affordable access to birth control. So the alternative there is like using tampons and using sanitary napkins, but those are very expensive, kind of like I said earlier. And so one way we kind of combat that in like our community in North Philly is we hold a tampon drive where we just stand at the bell tower, and we ask people to donate their extra tampons. Because it's something that some community members need and don't have access to. So we just stand there with a box and some signs, and we ask for tampons. And it's literally as simple as that, and the impact of that is also huge. It's fun because it's also combating period stigma, and kind of bringing the conversation out to the open, because a lot of people will talk about it in class then, or talk about it on Twitter. So it's like talking about it and realizing like what do homeless people do when they get their period and don't have a tampon? What do they do then? Or what do people who are living in poverty, what do they do when they have to think about purchasing their next meal or paying rent before thinking about like using sanitary products? Like what's more important in that situation? No one should have to make that choice. That's ridiculous. There should be access to these products and to affordable birth control to help manage and help regulate something that no one chooses to get, something that happens naturally. So that's kind of why we do it. And then we donate the products back into the North Philadelphia community, which is definitely a way for us to be involved in the community, and for a way for students to do something as easy as stopping by and popping a tampon. Or some students that do not get their periods will also buy boxes of tampons and donate those because they see the need. Even though they might not have to think about it, then they'll definitely be totally willing to donate tampons, because that's what they can do. They have that ability to buy a box and bring it over, which is definitely really awesome. And then sometimes some people will just donate money, which is good too, donating a couple dollars, but we definitely want to take out that middleman, buying them. We just want people to give them to us because it's easier. But we're definitely accepting of all forms of donations. Right, so what I hope for FMLA is that we can create a space where students can come together and talk about feminism and not feel alone or attacked or stupid. This is an okay environment to make mistakes and to learn and to grow. Members should never feel like it is they are alone at Temple. There are no other feminists around. They should also never feel like they know it all, because you don't. So it's okay to learn, and it's hard to unlearn some problematic things. But I hope that we can create an educational environment, an environment for learning, and also that we can create a group of friends and acquaintances that kind of have a community. They know the space that's really cool, and to just not feel alone. Yes, I am radical in a lot of ways. I do see myself as a radical feminist, and I see myself radical in politics as well. Personally, I am personally a very radical person, but it is definitely not the responsibility of everyone to have radical ideas and radical politics. And as an organization, it is not what you would typically think of as radical or extreme. But that doesn't also mean it's a bad thing. It's just more of a way to learn. And if you are at your very beginning of your feminist journey, it's a really cool way to get involved in feminism. But also, if you're really far along your feminist journey, it's still an accepting and open place for you as well. So I think that's kind of where people might see the fun of not as radical. but I know that there are a lot of radical members in our club who know a lot about feminism, who know a lot about politics, who know a lot about the community. But I also know there are a lot of people in the club who are just beginning on their kind of journey